Hello everyone and thanks for joining us. This is AMECO Hover English Service and you're watching our daily updates. I'm Gaila Damu. Stay with us. State Minister of Finance Amhara Sawasau said that following the Pretoria Peace Agreement, several countries have visited Ethiopia and are supporting the encouraging development efforts of the country. Modomliye reports.
France's Minister for Europe and Foreign Affairs, Catherine Colonna, and State Minister of Finance, Amhara Sawasau, have signed a grant agreement of 32 million euros to support the ongoing reconstruction efforts in the northern parts of the country. The grant agreement worth of 28 million euro is obtained from AFD, Agence Francaise de Development, while the rest 4 million euro is from the European Union. The main objective of the grant agreement is to consolidate the implementation of the peace process in Ethiopia and short-term support to agricultural activities in all three regions, benefiting 400,000 farmers.
After the peace agreement, many countries are visiting Ethiopia and looking at our situation. They are providing support to consolidate peace and help people in the conflict-affected areas. The first grant agreement will focus on agriculture in areas affected by the conflict, mainly Amhara, Afar and Tigray. The second will help us for the expansion of electricity.
Speaking at the occasion, the State Minister thanked the French government for its financial support to help the reconstruction efforts of the Ethiopian government.
We want to thank the French government for the support, and we will facilitate programs where we will cooperate in the future.
France's Minister for Europe and Foreign Affairs, Catherine Colonna, on her part said that the grant agreement would play a crucial role in changing the livelihood of people in the conflict-affected areas. She added that France is keen to strengthen support for Ethiopia to consolidate peace and help to support reconstruction efforts. She expressed her hope that the peace agreement reached between the Ethiopian government and TPLF will bring durable peace in the region. The signing ceremony that took place at the French embassy was attended by the Ethiopian Electric Power Company Chief Executive Officer Ashebr Balcha and the European Union delegation to Ethiopia.
Foreign ministers of France and Germany announced that they will support the demand by the African continent to secure its permanent seats at the United Nations Security Council. Ababa Brahani has the details.
The two foreign ministers have conferred with the chairperson of the African Union Commission, Moussa Faki Mohamed. In a joint statement issued after discussion, the ministers said that a strategic discussion was held with a view to strengthening the relations between Europe and Africa. Annalena Baerbock stated that the two sides have also reached common understanding to work in partnership in areas of peace, security, human rights protection and other development endeavors which benefit the people of Africa. The foreign ministers have expressed readiness to support the successful implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area, as it will create opportunity to establish strong trade relations with the European countries beyond the African continent. During the discussion with the chairperson of the African Union Commission, the foreign ministers of France and Germany have also affirmed the commitment of the two countries to continue supporting the African continent in its bid to secure permanent seats at the UN Security Council.
We are supporting 2 permanent seats in the Security Council also for the African continent. And to intensify our cooperation, it is important that we are working together bilaterally, but also the continent-to-continent relations in the name of our people is crucial, and therefore we are also supporting the measures and the works being done here for an African free trade zone, because this could be the opportunity for having a free trade also between Europe and Africa as such.
Foreign Ministers of France, Catherine Colonna, for her part, said that they will work in partnership with Africans on international system to Foreign Minister Colonna has also pledged to support the effective realization of Africa's position of African solutions to African problems. The chairperson of the African Union Commission, Moussa Faki Mohamed, for his part stated that issues of securing permanent seat by Africa at the UN Security Council is not only timely but also crucial, particularly given 70% of the entire issue being delivered at the United Nations Security Council are linked with Africans. The chairperson said denying African permanent seats at the council is unacceptable. The chairperson of the African Union stressed that allowing Africa to have its own permanent seats at the United Nations Security Council will also ensure justice and equality in the international system.
Ethiopian ambassador to South Africa, Mukhtar Kader, said that Ethiopia and South Africa are working to further bolster cooperation on continental and global issues beyond their bilateral relations. Brown Workana tells us more.
Ethiopia and South Africa have long-standing political, economic and social relations. Ethiopian ambassador to South Africa, Mukhtar Kader, told INA that Ethiopia and South Africa are working together on continental and international issues beyond bolstering their bilateral relations. He elaborated that the two countries are working together in trade, investment, public-to-public relations and other sectors. Apart from hosting the forum for the peace agreement reached between the government of Ethiopia and TPLF, the ambassador recalled that South Africa has played an important role in making the process conducive. Ambassador Mukhtar stated the peace agreement is a platform where success has been made in realizing African solutions to African problems. Moreover, he elaborated that activities are underway to establish a strong economic diplomacy that will benefit both countries. According to the ambassador, in addition to enhancing their bilateral relations, the two countries are working together to ensure mutual benefit by making common position on continental and global issues. South Africans were able to build a better country by solving the problems caused by the apartheid through dialogue, Ambassador Mukhtar noted, adding that Ethiopia will learn many experience from South Africa, especially for the success of national dialogue.
According to the Economic Commission for Africa, the 9th session of the Africa Regional Forum on Sustainable Development will be convened next month in Niamey, Niger. Abeba Brahani has the details.
The forum is organized jointly by Economic Commission for Africa and the Government of Niger in collaboration with the African Union Commission, the African Development Bank and other entities in the United Nations system. The theme of the 9th session of the Regional Forum is Accelerating the Inclusive and Green Recovery from Multiple Crises and the Integrated and Full Implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and Agenda 2063. During the session, an in-depth review will be undertaken of progress made in the implementation of 5 selected Sustainable Development Goals, namely Goal 6, Clean Water and Sanitation, Goal 7, Affordable and Clean Energy, Goal 9, Industry, Innovation and Infrastructure, Goal 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities, and Goal 17, Partnerships for the Goals and the corresponding goals of Agenda 2063. The Regional Forum will also serve as a platform for the sharing of experiences, good practices and lessons learned in efforts to implement the 2 agendas. In addition, participants will identify and build a consensus on policy options and actions to be adopted in the form of key messages and a declaration to drive actions towards accelerated, inclusive and green recovery from the multiple crises alongside the full implementation of the 2 agendas. The key message and the declaration will also serve as the collective African input to the 2023 High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development to be held in New York from 10 to 20 July 2023 and Sustainable Development Goals Summit at Heads of State and Government High-Level Week in September 2023. The regional forum will bring together ministers and other high-level policymakers and experts from governments and intergovernmental organizations, the private sector, civil society organizations and other major groups and international development partners. The regional forum will be held in a hybrid format following both in-person and online participation. The details for both options will be made available as soon as they are finalized.
The beauty pageant that Amhara Region Culture and Tourism Bureau has been organizing and processing for over 2 months is concluded choosing Miss Amhara. The pageant participated girls representing different zones of the region. The winner of the contest, Beza Sahle, has taken the winning crown and received an award of 100,000 birr. It is disclosed that pageants who ranked 1 to 3 will promote the culture and tourism of the region. You're watching AMECO Haber English Service, and now let's proceed to News Beyond Borders. Nepal police say hopes of finding survivors from Nepal's worst air disaster indicates are fading. Spokesperson of the country, Tek Prasad Rai, told the BBC that it's unlikely there will be any survivors. He added that teams were finding body parts at the scene. At least 68 people died when a flight from Kathmandu to the tourist town of Pokhara crashed and caught fire on Sunday morning. It is still unclear what caused the crash. Mobile phone footage showed the Yeti Airlines flight rolling sharply as it approached the airport. It then hit the ground in the gorge of the Seti River, just over a kilometer from the airport. There were 72 passengers and crew on board the flight. On Monday, some 300 rescuers resumed their search, combing through the charred wreckage. The Prime Minister of Nepal has declared Monday a national day of mourning, and the government set up a panel to investigate the cause of the disaster, as BBC reported. Researchers claim that one of the world's largest oil companies accurately forecast how climate change would cause global temperature to rise as long ago as the 1970s. ExxonMobil's private search predicted how burning fossil fuels would warm the planet, but the company publicly denied the link they suggest. The academics analyzed data in the company's internal documents. ExxonMobil denied the allegations. The company told BBC News that this issue has come up several times in recent years, and in each case their answer is the same. Those who talk about how Exxon knew are wrong in their conclusions. Corporations including ExxonMobil have made billions from selling fossil fuels that release emissions that scientists, governments and the UN say cause global warming. The findings suggest that ExxonMobil's predictions were often more accurate than even world-leading NASA scientists, as BBC reported. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi on Sunday met with visiting Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang in Cairo. Brian Workner presents CGTN Africa reports.
Sisi said Egypt-China friendship enjoys a long history and remains rock solid. He said Egypt will continue to adhere the One China principle and oppose foreign interference in China's internal affairs. During the meeting, Sisi also confirmed Egypt's commitment to further strengthening the fruitful cooperation between the two countries. He said the Belt and Road cooperation between the two countries has yielded good results, adding Egypt welcomes more Chinese investment and tourists to the country since China has recently optimized the prevention and control measures of COVID-19 pandemic. Qin Gang, for his part, said China appreciates Egypt's reiteration that it will firmly adhere to the One China principle. He said China also supports Egypt in taking a development path that suits its own national conditions and safeguarding national sovereignty, security and development interests. He noted that China looks forward to closely aligning the development strategies, accelerating the advancement of key cooperation projects and achieving more results in the construction of the Belt and Road projects and in implementing the outcomes of the China-Arab Summit in Egypt. Qin also underscored China's appreciation for Egypt in light of its pivotal role in promoting peace and stability in the Middle East. After the meeting, Qin Gang held talks with Egyptian Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry. The two sides spoke highly of the exemplary role and the strategic significance of China-Egypt solidarity and cooperation.
This is AMECO Haber English Service, and now let's take a look at the foreign exchange rate and karat rate. That's all the news we have for today. I'm Gaila Damu. Thanks for watching and stay tuned with the rest of our programs.